dealt with swiftly and harshly.
Standard procedure. Gortash just wants to make sure that there's no misinformation.
We should have a still watching every Baldurian home.
Everyone has to go.
Why? I'm glad you asked. It'd certainly help.
The hostel's up that way. You won't find better around here, unless you can pay for it.
Leave him some time, and then...
I bet that hostel lady wouldn't make you clean the dishes.
Deserves to be called on, Lord.
That's enough of that. Lord Gortash has everything under control.
This is Joel's house. No letters, no clerics, no herb sellers, no potion peddlers, and no steel watch.
Keep the peace.
If you say so.
If this lot have got a problem with the Gazette, they should take it up with the editor, not make a scene in the streets.
Baldur's Gate's never going to be safe with the Absolute out there. Why would the Gazette lie to an entire city?
Kinda terrifying that the likes of Lord Gortash can just decide what's true or not. Despicable.
Why would they go to all that?
The paper says we're safe here, but we're not. We may as well be outside the walls with the Absolute.
No point reading the Gazette. You might as well be reading the walls of a tavern privy.
A broken steel watcher. A tag wired to it reads, Unit defective.
Do you
Return
know
to the
how hard it was to get those cabbages into the city? Nigh on impossible.
We're not lost. Just taking in the view before continuing on our way.
The lower city's a bloody warren. I'm surprised anyone can find their way around. I'm going to ask for directions.
No, you mustn't. The city is full of criminals. We can't let them know we're vulnerable. Fine. We'll just stand here.
You again? In this part of town.
I wouldn't say I'm certain, just optimistic.
They're lost, aren't you?
Better not be cursed.
property in constant use. Gathering strictly prohibited.
Just retrace our steps.
Anything of use?
Right. Please, down the stairs.
Bet I can crack that open.
That might be worth a look.
Shouldn't go wandering in dark alleys. Very dangerous hobby. Gets people killed. Why, you're Farling's friend. She said to let you in. Funny little gnome she is. Always laughing at me. Even when I don't joke. Come, I'll let you in. My pleasure. In you go. Before I change my mind.
Oi, mess with us, and that'll be the last thing I'll do. I mean you do. Shit!
Might be useful. That might be worth a look.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
Who let you through? That's Grunt. Bloody idiot.
Here's the 9 fingers. Good luck.
If I were you, I'd turn around and walk right out of this alley. Now!
When I was a lad, I made merry.
This ain't a public rooftop. It's mine, so piss off!
This is supposed to be the greatest fest hall under the city. So where's all the bloody fun?
The Guildhall has one rule. All crime stays in the city streets, where it belongs. Break this rule, and you die.
Soldier?
Hey, farce. Seen farce?
We're all on the same side, friend.
Wow, look who it is. Glad to see you in the city. Hope you found plenty of coin in Ketteric's coffers. Ready to do some business? I survived the hells when Elturel fell. Compared to that, slipping out of Moonrise was child's play. Oh, I've got a few ideas. I'll be running this whole place in no time. Ready to do some business? Sure is. We work for Fetcher, handling what you might call pre-owned goods. Talk to Sticky. He'll cut you a deal.
Fetcher isn't himself, so I'm running the shop. You buying or selling? Let's just say the previous owners no longer have a use for them. Got me? Fetcher isn't himself, so I'm running the shop.
Can't we set up in a better spot? Bloody draft here.
That's the point. Uktar hardly want... If it's Uktar you're after, he's in with the Guildmaster. Not even 9 Fingers Keen can escape the great balancing of guild books.
Your eyes are going to want to wander all over this gold. It's only natural. Just make sure it stops at your eyes, aye?
Don't mind the ladies' court. Just a game we play. Figuring how we'll kill you if you cross 9 fingers.
Right. Which crew are you with? Bellbreakers? The Children of Hor?
The names ring familiar. 2 of the many crews that make up the Guild. A loose collective with ties to every criminal enterprise in the city's underworld.
Can't say I've heard of you. Spare me the story behind the name. I'm sure it's very scary. Fair warning, the Guildmaster wants no fraternizing with the Zentarim. They're here to work, not share war stories. They won't be much use to us if they're drinking and dicing when the Stone Lord kicks the door down. You won't. The Black Network is working for us. The Guild is hardly a soft target, but we're not set up for the turf war the Stone Lord set on fighting. He came out of nowhere and ate up half our turf in a 10-day. So if you're speaking to the Guildmaster, maybe step soft around the topic.
Guildhall is not what it was. No gambling, no blood games, not even a pissy little peacock fight. Bored.
I'm sorry, sweetie pie. I don't do requests. But toss me a few coppers, and I'll shoot you a saucy wink across the bar. It isn't half bad, is it? And this lot, very generous tippers. I'm sure you understand there's only room for one bard here. But I'll let you know if I need a day off.
You won't find much fun here today. Guildmaster's battened down the hatches till the Stone Lord problem's dealt with.
Thanks, but no thanks.
You can get near anywhere in the city from here without seeing daylight. Once you don't mind the tangy smell of sewer.
Look now, the Guildmaster's little hunt is bringing all sorts of new faces out of the woodwork.
Keen might look down on the Zentarim, but she'll be glad of us once the Stone Lord comes knocking.
Uniform's a bit patchy, I know. I was Flaming Fist. But the writing's on the wall there. The Steel Watch will be snatching up our contracts in no time.
Go on. Technically, I'm supposed to be on watch.
Maybe that's why this Stone Lord is pushing so hard. He wants Keen's underroads all to himself.
I know times are tough, but this crowd could mingle a bit, eh? We're all on the same side.
Don't bug me. I'm making plans. Big plans, see?
No. Watch for the signal.
Don't bug me.
Those salts are paying us, Fanny, so chin up, make your coin, and you can lose it somewhere else.
Lifting fresh from rich fat fingers.
Careful around the Steel Watch. The old guard gave thieves a slap on the wrist, but those bolted bastards will rip off the whole damn arm.
What's the point in paying the guild for protection when they've pulled back all their crews? There's a bloody army coming.
Before you ask, I ain't got none of that plum Prosecco. Now, what can I get you, newcomer? Beverages of distinction, or in some cases, extinction, if you ain't careful. How you feeling today? Lucky?
Bare hands.
No distractions, mate. Nine Fingers has me watching over Pierre Priss here. Wants our friends in Parliament close with this new Duke making moves.
You did not see me. A peer of the Parliament openly walking the Guildhall would sell a few copies of Baldur's Mouth, I expect.
A charm, of course. And then you'll do it yourself.
It's an orphanage, Ukta. What would you have me do? Seize their toys as payment?
Well, they failed to pay tribute. We should withdraw our protection, at the very least.
And cede more ground to the Stone Lord? You're not suggesting I yield a single inch of the city, my city, to this cult?
We already look weak. If you're seen to be forgiving debts...
I didn't say forgive. Seize the building. Arm any children old enough. If they protect what's mine, we'll consider that a start on what's owed.
Yes, Guildmaster. Excuse me? This is a private council.
Keep your underpants clean, Ukta. We're playing host to a hero. You owe me a gold piece, grandmother. When I heard you died out in the wilderness, I made an offering at Kellenbor's wealth.
Of gold? Oh, I did not know I meant so much to you, Guildmaster.
You know I'm terribly sentimental. Case in point, I've just let a harper walk through my guild hall, noticeably unholed. Because I'm curious about why you're here and who it is you've brought with you. How nice. You won't find many of those in my guild hall.
We won't tax your hospitality too long, Nine Fingers. I'm searching for Minsk of Rashomon.
A big name, that. Such information does not come cheap, High Harper. Not in normal times. Of course. Seeing as these are not normal times and we're all such good friends, I'll do better than tell you where he is. I'm bringing him here as we speak. Or parts of him, at least. I gave no orders about the condition of his corpse.
What treachery is this, Nine Fingers? Have you thrown in with the Absolute too?
Against my own city. Careful. You're in very real danger of hurting my feelings. It's Minsk who's found his faith with Faerun's newest god. And a new name with it. The Stone Lord.
Lies.
Minsk was never one to need much persuading. Not when it came to spilling my people's blood. In his short reign, the Stone Lord and his crew have earned a reputation. Pure brutality. No survivors. And where he mows my people down, this ripe little cult takes root. But not for much longer. We have word on where he plans to hit next. And he'll find us ready to hit back this time.
Nine Fingers. Estelle. Call off your ambush, tell us where he is, and we'll handle this.
We? I heard what happened to your harpers, Jaheira. I'm sorry, but this fight's too big for you alone. If you're half the friend you're posing as, you'll tell her that her part in this is done. The Stone Lord's fate is sealed. We have a bigger war to fight. I'd rather turn our talk to that, but if you need a moment, Jaheira, well, you've earned that much. My guild hall is open to you. Have a drink, Jaheira. Have a rest. Just leave well enough alone. It would be a shame for the city to lose 2 of its heroes in one day.
There's little point in pressing Nine Fingers further. She means what she says. But we swore no vows. She won't tell us where to find Minsk. Someone else in her guild hall will. We need to be swift. I suppose we must greet the local wildlife. Guildhall is awash with ale-scented gossip at the best of times. These days, they have nothing but the Stone Lord to talk about.
Knife. A hot one, I think.
Keep the Harper out of trouble. Just because I don't want to kill her, doesn't mean I won't. Beyond that, be welcome. Be merry. Is there something you require of a humble guildmaster? Oh, did you enjoy the encounter? Bottom-feeding bruises, I think you mean. But it takes thugs to keep order outside the walls. The fists only go there for good, lawless fun. The rats usually keep a lid on their nastier notions, but with the Stone Lord business distracting me, some are starting to test the leash. All the more reason to be rid of the cult quickly, so I can remind my crews it's not a leash round their necks if they cross me. It's a noose. Knowing what I know usually comes at a cost. But let's say we'll put it on your tab. Simple enough. After Jaheira warned me and then disappeared, I went nosing into the cult for myself. I could bore you with the details. How I found evidence of Gortash's projects, traced him to Orin the Red, and made a safe bet there was some dried-out old necromancer to round out the three. Because it's always the dead, bloody three. Has been half-gods who can't help but make their irrelevance everyone else's problem. Oh. You've got some juicy little tidbit I haven't heard yet. Huh. It seems like my intelligence on you was patchy at best. That's annoying. I had no intention of leaving my city in the Dead Three's hands. Definitely not leaving it to some slimy shit that doesn't even have hands. So, as long as you can keep a lid on what's growing inside you, we're allies. Until you can't, and we're not. Simple enough, I reckon. Now, war to be fought. You need anything? Keep me from having to kill the Harper. Which means keeping out of the guild's way, all right? Wonderful. You have. But don't be so quick to bat away a helping hand. You find few enough of them in this city. The Flaming Fist can be bought. The Harpers are scattered, and the Parliament of Peers, well, they're just generally too inbred to be useful. The Absolute's at our gate, and the Guild are the only ones truly standing against it.
You are not known to me. For supplies, seek the bugbear. To trade trinkets, the fetcher's brats. I am Uktar, duly elected guild bursar, and I will not have my time wasted.
Oh, is that what Nine Fingers was doing earlier? Wasting guild time with this Stone Lord business?
You might say so. I could not possibly comment.
I sense there is no love lost between the two of you.
I need not love to serve. You have a point you wish to make? I have not come so far by indulging in petty disputes. But I am open to transactions of mutual benefit. I am interested in gaining access to vaults beneath the counting house. I'd pay well for keys to those vaults, provided said vaults are not emptied prematurely, of course. I suspect that what you seek might also be found beneath the counting house. I tell you this only as a matter of mutual interest.
She plans to ambush Minsk at the counting house. But what the hells would he want there?
What you do with that information is a matter for yourself. Now, back to the vault keys. Do we have business to conduct?
Why don't we just retrace our steps? Left, left, right. Down the stairs, and... Oh, was that the stairs?
Drop a coin, take a flower. May Chaunteer's blessings be upon you, child.
Dedicated to one lord and his metal toys. Gortash has got to be paying the Mount Sink fees.
Ah, you look like someone who can probably read. Can I interest you in a copy of the Baldur's Mouth Gazette? Please buy one. We're all doing our bit. Better than sitting around waiting for the gates to open. It's a really good paper, though. No spelling mistakes in it or anything. Oh, she's very busy. I think she's made new friends in the city. I'm going to join her there when the gates open. Thank you. My first sale. I can't wait to tell Mole. Oh, please. Please, sir. Please. It's for my son. Anything would help. Any amount at all. I feel a little dizzy. Please, kind sir. Can you spare a few coins to feed my son? He's sick and...
More of those bloody fish? God, never ends.
Let's move. Nothing important.
is ever easy.
Let's cut your fire, baby.
No choice but to keep going.
What's this?
Nothing will stand in my way. Cutting to the chase.
Thank you for cutting those creatures down, truly. Gods know what would have happened if you weren't here.
More of those creatures. Not sure why they're attacking out in the open like this. I have a lot on my mind.
Oh, God! There's guts all over my boat!
Thought I'd be used to the smell of fish by now. Not that smell.
Oh, I think I must have had my fill of fish for the next 10 days.
Having these things lying around is bad for business.
Gods, all we wanted was a nice dockside walk, not an unscheduled menagerie visit.
Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Thanks for that.
No traps, please.
Thanks again for dealing with those Sawagan. You saved more than just my livelihood. A bit quieter after the Shawagan attack, but that's to be expected. Loyal customers will be back. Fish mainly. The Flaming Fest commandeer the best stuff, but I can show you what I've got. Watch yourself, eh? God's willing, there won't be any more of those things.
Did you hear this was the best place to buy fish in the city as well? Seems they neglected to mention the sea devils.
I need a quick word.
That was incredible! And just think what a story it'd make when fish fight back.
What's that?
I like a little crunch. Just discussing the weather, dearie. Nothing of interest to you.
Plenty to do and see in the gate. No need to barge in our private chat. Anyway, what you have for me?
Seems simple enough.
Lord Enver Gortash, the people's man, the gate's protector.
Please, kind sir, can you spare a few coins to feed my son?
Arrest the smell?
Some help you are. Where's the steel watch when you need it?
Where's an apprentice?
Not to mention the parchment quality of the cadet.
Tastes loves it.
Very well.
Flim's cobblers walk in a pauper, strut out a duke.
Ah, sir, you've chosen a special day to visit the family home of Archduke Enver Gortash. We're celebrating our dear son's magnificent achievement with a special run of leather-soled shoes.
Gods. Gortash has a mother. I assumed he sprang fully formed from a lich's arse crack or something.
Help me! Dear gods, help me!
Your tadpole squirms. These people are infected with the parasite, but something is off. You search her mind, but the psionic forces that control her are different, split somehow. Your own consciousness slips into the gap.
Help me! Gods, help me! Enver's ruined my mind. He's taken my body. I should have slammed the door in his face, but I let him in and he ran. Some kind of worm in our eyes. I'm here, but I can't speak. I can't act. I'm trapped. He said he wanted to make us powerless. Still bitter after all these years, but we did what was best for him, for all of us. We had debts, world-ending debts, trying to keep this cursed shop afloat. Dangerous lenders who said they'd bury us all if we didn't pay. Then a warlock offered us a pretty penny for Enver's service. He was a smart boy. Too smart. It was give him up, and all of us live or refuse and die. What choice did we have? He was always a little monster, Nasty to the core. He would have torn me and Druvo apart with his whining, his demands, the never-ending racket of him. You may disagree, Enver did, but we don't deserve this torment. You're the first person who's heard the real me in months. My son, you've seen what he's like, same now as when he was a boy. Hateful little wretch. If you were me, you'd just sent him away too, believe you me. There has to be another way. I deserve to live again. I deserve my own life. There has to be. I can't live like this. I'm trapped. Trapped. Wait!
Your tadpole lashes and recoils. The connection is broken.
Come again soon.
Be very welcome to Flim's cobbler. He may not have followed in his old man's shoe steps, but Archduke's not so bad, is it?
Gortash's dad. Same treatment as his mum, I guess. So, Gortash's parents sold him to a warlock. Why does that sound so familiar? I've got no interest in empathizing with the fuck. But maybe what he did to me was some kind of mirror of what happened to him. When you get fucked up, you fuck up right back.
Very good to see you again.
Nothing. It's as though the inner workings of his mind have been wiped clean.
You focus on the source of the power, but it is quiet and still. It needs to rest.
Goodness, what an accusation. You've got the wrong family. Enver's the light of our lives. He grew up right in these walls. First my apprentice, then savior of the city, and on to Archduke. Nothing untoward about it, I assure you. Fine.
Better be cautious. Bet I could crack that open. Inside. Can't slow down.
Those absolutists.
Seen any gazetteers around? Need to see if the new edition's out yet. Have you got anything I can use to read about? Native citizens will please stand still for evaluation.
I don't have any of those.
What do you think happened to the Albrights anyway?
It's much safer this side of the city walls.
Please stop
You moron! We could be fired for this.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
Join us at the famous Singing Lute Basement Bar. Good ale for good coin. All welcome. Henk House. Keep out.
Kick stones. The bleeder. Do it yourself.
I want to have a word.
You'll have to excuse us. My darling and I are enjoying the view of the city.
Gods, I can't stand this place.
Good day, Governor. I got a copy of the Bladder's Mouth Gazette, fresh off the presses for you. Good price too. Oh, piss. I mean the Baldur's Mouth Gazette, sorry. Please don't tell Mr. Edvard. He'd be ever so cross. Cool, thanks. Come back tomorrow for the next edition.
Children, 4 adults.
So much as a rattle for the bee.
Grown up now, you won't miss a toy or two.
What's inside?
He has twice the kills you did at that age. He knows the 7 major arteries, the blind spots, everything. That mind flayer is done for. Everywhere. The city is infested. I've been monitoring them for some months now. They're planning something. Something big. Galbraith Stredivas, Mind Flayer Hunter. My son is tracking one of the beasts as we speak. You don't know my boy. He's twice the hunter I am and the best son a man could ask for. I'd be by his side, but an Illithid trap left me retired. Permanently. My son has taken up the mantle. He fights tooth and nail every single day. I only pray it's enough. That I've done enough. It is rare to meet someone who doesn't fear mind flayers. You remind me of an old friend. hero of his time. Here, he gifted me this. Call it thanks for setting me at ease. They won't win, you know. The Mind Flayers. Not with my son fighting the good fight. And you.
Hold still, citizen. Initiating scan. Hello, fellow citizen. I'm not suspicious. Are you?
The girl is hiding something from the other one. She has candy in her pocket.
You spotted it. It's spy candy, because I'm a spy for the Absolute. Whee!
This game sucks dead nose. When do I get to be the Steel Watcher?
Halt, citizen. Wait right here for Steel Watcher scanning. Ooh, a snitch. I mean, good tip there, citizen. You may pass. Don't move, Cinnamon. Now, inspection protocol initiated. Hand over that candy. Hold still, citizen. Initiating
A man cannot stroll the thoroughfare without
Out for restocking. Will return shortly, if I can find any more stock. Downstairs, the glitter gala. Upstairs, the chromatic scale.
Drab attire, lackluster skin. My darling, you need my gems. They'll brighten even a ghoul like yourself. Or, if you are the practical sort, I also stock enchanted stones. They're almost as magical as myself. A skeleton would be more accurate. You have good bones, darling. You just need decoration, and you're in the right place. Remember?
Upstairs, chromatic scale. The finest purveyors of musical instruments in Faerun.
A customer. Come, Docha. You look like someone who knows their way around a lute. Or perhaps you enjoy the drums. Flute? No. Lyre. A fellow bard. Oh. Might I bend your ear? I've been experimenting with lute strings made of, hear me out, warg hair. Well, you see...
Excited and breathless, time passes in the blink of an eye as the two of you get lost in the intricacies of music.
Goodness, look at the time. I'm terribly sorry for keeping you, but the most delightful chat. Here, a little discount as a thank you. Thank you for coming to my little shop. I hope you have a wondrous day.
Take a few in. Our mansion's big enough.
Oh, you are the funny one.
A man cannot stroll the thoroughfare without being assaulted by a juvenile.
It was just a pebble.
Just a pebble! A pebble could take off an eye, break a tooth, enter an open mouth, and drop a gum.
This city has been in a downward spiral for too long. Only the soft-hearted and the street vermin dare to deny it.
Bloody ridiculous. Some folk must live a charmed life if a child playing in the street's their greatest worry.
Who's clanking great steel?
I was just playing. I wasn't even aiming at him.
Nobody wants to read the riot act to a child, but, well, discipline's got to start somewhere, eh?
Almost coming to blows over a pebble. What's this city coming to?
It's peaceful, isn't it?
The Lodge, meeting house of the Society of Brilliance.
We'll get to them soon enough.
That's curious.
I heard laughter this morning. At me. Ah, a fellow inhabitor of the Underdark. You find yourself in the cradle of knowledge relating to our subterranean home, the Society of Brilliance. Tell me, what can the Society do for you? A wonderful research partnership. I'm sure you'll agree. They are upstairs if you wish to share any theories with them. Yes, dear Lady Esther, one of our most reliable contractors. Though unfortunately, this particular request was too much even for her. I don't suppose you've stumbled across any Githyanki eggs during your travels. The Society will compensate you for any we purchase, of course. Study it, of course. The Githyanki have been a source of great debate in the Society's circles in recent months. You yourself have no doubt experienced the prejudice of those who assume that, as beings of the Underdark, we are inherently evil. The Githyanki face similar prejudice, but I believe if hatched in a less violent, more intellectually stimulating environment, the child can overcome its evil predispositions. In the literal sense, I will need to induce the egg to hatch via the application of certain currents to the creature inside. Once out of the shell, I plan to take a twofold approach. The enforced repetition of sound, moral principle from the Patarian Code, alongside a series of psionic pulses administered to the cerebral tissue. Assuming I can accelerate its growth, I should have conclusive findings within a year or two at the most. A series of moral imperatives bestowed by the great dragon deity, Bahamut. In my years of study, they're the closest I found to moral perfection. Only under such rigorous goodness will the subject stand a chance of being cured. My findings could change the perception of Githyanki and the peoples of the Underdark for generations to come. Of course it won't. If anything, it will do quite the opposite. The academic institutions up here will finally be forced to take us seriously. Now, I'm eager to get started. So will you sell me the egg? Then I will source another subject, and the experiment will be completed without your involvement. Progress may be delayed, but...
Well met. I am the Society's leading expert on myconid spore telepathy. But I've had to delay my experiments. Run out of spores, you see. I miss them, those myconid spores. Don't feel quite right without them. Probably shouldn't have inhaled them all so quickly. Eh?
I'm compiling a translation dictionary so warring species of the Underdark can understand each other. It's an essential step forward.
Indeed. I find I now have an irrational fear of deep water.
So much Underdark strife comes from vying for scarce minerals. I seek to invent new, easier ways to find such ores. From plenty comes peace. Why can't a man be passionate about minerals?
Let's get going.
It is pleasurable to see you. Your intervention within the cult's underwater complex was a timely one. I am glad my carelessness did not cost the life of Duke Ravengard. That you also saved me was unexpected. I too feel some warmth at your presence. Your inclination to generosity is an admirable quality, one I wish to reciprocate. Blurg and I have consulted on the matter of your reward. We first thought to ask the denizens of the Underdark for their aid in fighting the cult. Alas, our influence there remains negligible. Instead, we have selected a series of items from the Society's roots. Given my kind's involvement in creating this evil, it is only right that I do my part in helping you defeat it, or at least improving your odds.
Omeluum tells me I have you to thank for its safe return. We know the risks when we go out into the field, but to lose my friend in such a way would have been most disheartening. If there's any conclusion to be drawn from this, I think it's that Omeluum and I are safest back in the Underdark. Our research there must continue. We may not be able to fight on the front lines as you do, but we may yet do some good for those who call it home. We'll depart when this absolute army is defeated. I understand you are involved in the matter. I hope our gifts will provide you with some meaningful assistance in fighting the evil Omeluum uncovered. Do let us know how you get on. How do you... Is there anything I can do for you, friend?
to think that I'm both brilliant.
It is best I do not interfere.
Once I publish my paper, proving that it's just hyena mite infections that make gnolls so angry, I'll be famous.
You can go when I'm through with you, little brat.
Say now clearer. You wish to choke me to death? Perhaps loot my purse after.
Oi! Stop a moment.
Fine. Come in then. You might as well meet the family.
No consequences!
Her knees cracking.
Oh, Maller's Mark, here we go.
Are we quite sure she hasn't actually died this time, brother? She looks dead.
Smells it too. Ooh.
It has been a hard road. But I can clip you both around the ear to prove I am no ghost. If it would help.
Forgive us, Mother. We're just surprised you still know how to find your way home. You know Mother dear well already.
Ryan.
A sending spell can carry 25 words. Do you know how many Jaheira's only message contained in all this time she's been away? 7.
If you are trying to help me, please stop.
The message went, I'm sorry, you know what to do.
So why haven't you done it? You were supposed to get the young ones out of the city.
And you were supposed to be dead. That's what your oh-so-stoic message meant, yes? Yet here you are. So, what happened out there?
I got my skin saved by this one. We've come to take the fight to the cult, which is exactly why you all cannot be here.
Why? You plan on winning, don't you? You're the one who saved us, so tell me. Are we all doomed? See, Mother? A little positivity.
You are a very irritating girl.
This isn't your house, remember? You'll keep a civil tongue under our roof if we let you stay at all.
Have mercy, sister. She's old, after all.
So old! She can stay, but only if she brought home presents.
Seems I'm outvoted. See, Mother? That is how you go about talking things through with your family. Now, if there's more to discuss, then bloody well come in. And wipe your boots.
Hey! I don't know what I was expecting. Something beyond real. My life would have been so different if I ended up working for her instead of Gortash. Looking after these kids. Making a difference. Maybe in the next life.
You know, I never dreamed our noble Jaheira would be such a terrible, terrible mother. It's nice to see heroes are as awful as the rest of us, hmm?
Jaheira's adept at keeping secrets, and for good reason. She was wise to try and keep her family safe. I just wish I could have done the same.
Always at your side.
Jaheira would do anything to see her family safe. They're lucky to have her, and she's lucky to have them.
The counting house. Minsk must have a way in. But it's never had much use for coin beyond whatever sharp steel it could buy. There must be something in the vaults the Great Chosen are after. All the more reason to get there. Swiftly. I have no reason to doubt the Guildmaster's information. Only her conclusions. The Stone Lord she describes sounds nothing like Minsk. As for the name, well, a bad joke perhaps. The time of troubles ended almost a century and a half ago. I weathered the years between with all the elven grace you have no doubt come to expect. But do you know how Minsk, a human, passed those years? I'll give you a hint. They named him the Beloved Ranger.
The name strikes a dim memory. A monument to a hero on one of the city's squares, which had turned out to be the hero himself, frozen in stone until the city's hour of need.
Yeah, for Minsk it is downright subtle. He shrugged at the whole affair. I still don't know how he came to be petrified. I don't even know how he was freed. Harper work would take me from the city, sometimes for years at a time. The few occasions I visited his monument, well, I took it as a moment for reflection. To think of old friends, and the fight I had to continue in their name. And during all my self-serious brooding, that big, dumb, insufferable buffoon was staring me in the face. That was Minsk's feeling too. Perhaps I shouldn't be working so hard to bring you two together. I have given you much reason to think that Harper's hoard secrets like precious stones, but I promise you, this was not some intrigue. Just, plain and simple foolishness. As if by keeping clear of my family, I might keep them clear of the cult in turn. And if this fight were to go against us, well, they had already done their mourning. Why visit it on them twice? Of course I was. You met her, did you not? The girl had opinions before she had teeth. I was wrong to think I could keep my children from this fight. They're Baldurian born and bred. The only damned reason I root myself in this place. This city is a cesspit. An open sewer of the soul that taints us with its filth and churns us out when all that is good has been stripped away. It also happens to be their home. And so it is mine. Ugh. That might be the first time I have said that out loud. Now come. We had best get to saving it. Lest Ryan turn her ire on us both.
Jaheira's family is a credit to her. She's wise to keep them secret. Safe. I was never afforded a chance to start a family of my own. Serving nature always had to come first.
Githyanki. The word means quite literally Gith's children. But I have never known family the way Jaheira knows it. My so-called cousins are simply spawn hatched from the same clutch. I will never know who laid the egg I hatched from. And until I met Jaheira's family, I never thought to wonder. Well, enough brooding.
natural impulse to try and shield one's loved ones from danger, especially when you feel a moral compunction to run headfirst towards it. I suspect any child of Jaheira's will share her self-destructive sense of justice, but at least her words give them pause for thought.
Hello, my dear. Oh, it sounds...
No traps, please.
Oakfather preserve you. Then you'll... I had hoped there might be a greater sense of balance within the city. That its walls might enable sheltering within it to foster community, peace. Yet it is not so. Unnatural steel beings patrol the streets. The printed word sows discontent, and those in need are treated with disdain. You saw how that young boy was being treated on the streets, didn't you? That man considered him a stain. Sometimes it is difficult to see exactly what we are fighting to save here. Sometimes the Shadow Druid's desire to separate nature from all this seems pragmatic, not fanatical. I do. But at times like this, it can feel like an impossible dream. I was harsh on myself before. On my leadership of the Grove, the decisions I made. Perhaps too harsh, considering this place.
I take no responsibility for your plants. You know I'm more of a mushroom man.
You've let my study turn into a thicket. Is this what I am hearing?
I tended to it. I just let it thrive in its own independence. You know, same way you raised us.
I raised you to be a sweet and kind boy. What happened?
I watched what you did instead of listening to what you said. This house has taken in a lot of children over the years. Mother dear was sometimes more commander than, well, mother dear.
If I am a general, then I can set you scrubbing latrines. Yes?
Oh, save your fangs for someone who thinks you might actually use them. I've only ever seen her truly angry once. We were down the market when I was about 9 years old. Some merchant started in with the usual. Yes, but where's your family? Whose son are you, really? When Mother was done with him, well, let's say he won't have any sons of his own to worry about.
Nature's law in action.
What's that?
Those leaves are a little darker than I'd like, Felices. Bad soil? Don't tell Mother.
What this does.
Tale of its plight. A sepulchral beckoning from beyond the veil.
Her diaries are off limits. I know. It's not a very good code.
Something over there.
Oh, come on, Ferdinand. I just trimmed you.
A fine day to you, sir.
Are you known to this court? Sir Fluffington, an honor to host you in my manor.
Jessam discovered an old family tree in my study. We haven't had a moment's peace since.
Tetherian nobility. You might be royalty, Jaheira. You don't want to be queen, of course, and Ryon curses too much, so it would have to be me.
Careful, girl. They have a habit of taking against tyrants there.
Huh. I'm not a tyrant. If anyone calls me one, I'll have Fig chop their head off.
Teach myself in secret when I started. Force me into the same line. About the third time I knocked her on her ass.
For how long?
Squeeze their guts out of their ears like an overfilled sausage.
Bad soil? Don't tell Mother.
I hope you were hibernating, little cub. I can't think of another reason you wouldn't come down to say hello.
Jaheira! I didn't want to see if you were really dead. They said...
Who said?
Jord and Ryon. They didn't think I could hear.
You little sneak thief? Well, they were wrong. Look! Not dead. I just... had a few adventures. Like,
Really?
Now, cub. Solitude is a wonderful thing, but not too much. Come downstairs and fight with your sisters.
Wait. Here. I was... keeping this safe.
My Harper pin. Oh, was a certain little sneak thief playing down in my sanctuary?
No.
Pin opens more doors than most. Come down to my study and see if you can figure it out.
Sepulchral beckoning from the arms.
His ears could just become...
Right, the safest place in the city, too.
No arguing. Just tell me you're well.
I am well.
And Minsk?
We're working on it.
You'll get him back. I owe him a kicking for showing Fig how to throw hatchets. So, this cult. What's our plan?
I'm not fool enough to think I can change your mind. But if you're staying, I don't want you taking up arms. There are other ways to fight.
Really? Like what?
You shame me. In all our hunting, I had put them from my mind.
Right. Leave them to us then. If we can't get them past the checkpoints, we'll at least make sure they're watched over if it comes to fighting in the streets. If I have to stay home and babysit, then it's your job to make sure there's still a home to look after. Take what you need, and we'll do the grand reunion when you come back for good. So, lovely as it is to have you back, Mother, go away. You have work to do.
Aye, aye, Commander. Wait, one more thing. There are doppelgangers among the cult. Be on your guard.
Huh. All right, then. If you turn up looking for hugs and kisses, I'll be sure to shoot first.
That's my girl.
Dummy.
Commander!
Spare me your salutes, little traitor. You walked me right into that ambush.
Sorry, Commander. You are my commander, but George promised me pies.
Huh. I can't fault your priorities. You'll look after them for me?
Can I have a real sword?
No.
Fine.
Those leaves are a little darker than I thought.
Pay no mind to those. You're probably safe so long as I am here. But if you do not trust me, take the weight from the pressure plate there. Have no fear.
The orb casts glyphs familiar to the druid of ownership. Overwhelming it with the same element can often disable the enchantment. The orb casts glyphs familiar to the druid of ownership. Overwhelming it with the same element can often disable the enchantment.
The only patch of wilderness this city permits me. There ought to be supplies here to aid us.
The Archdruid's eyes and ears have fallen away in her absence. I am training new ones.
There's been killings in a holy place. Stinks of incense and blood. I bring word of gnomes. Gnomes in the sea.
Down by the Blushing Mermaid, there's a stink of something fey. Smell of arse, too. But Boss doesn't care about that.
Easy. Let us try not to trip headlong through it, yes?
Toril, whatever lies beyond the stars.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Keen eye. But if it's supplies you seek, weapons to aid in our fight, you won't find them behind that door. There is nothing back there of worth to anyone but me. It should be no surprise to you that Harpers like to hold their secrets close. Whether there is sense in it or not. On my word, all you will find inside is dust. And the moldering keepsakes of a much younger woman. But then, perhaps I make too much of this. How can I beg privacy when I was not half so trusting on our first meeting? Pass then. Go on. See what it is a foolish old Harper thinks worth hiding away.
of the timeless body. What's that about? I'd best ask Jaheira.
Yes? The threat of spanking never kept the children from poking through my things. Why should it deter you? It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. In greener days, I might have been strong enough to do it. I might be yet, with the right preparations. Any druid? But the scroll is not the ritual itself, only part of my research on its working. Do not look at me like that. I have been content to see the span of my natural years. A privilege far too few in this world can claim. I do not speak of clinging to life for its own sake, I just look back on that life's work and I wonder, is it done? The Dead Three plague the world still. The city still falls prey to small minds like Gortash or lost souls like Orin. It is every Harper's hope to be a light that drives out darkness. But I've lived long enough to see so many of those lights burn out, while the shadows cling stubbornly on. Knowing that, isn't it our duty to burn on if we can? To fight for as long as we are able?
You're preaching to the doomed choir, ma'am.
You've done more than your share of fighting already, Karlak. If there's one person I would trust to make the most of a longer life, it's you. Of course. It is our way. Just as it is Death's way to meet us along the path, gently oblivious to whatever it is we want. I spent most of my life fighting those who tried to escape their end. Ketheric, Irenicus, Sarevok. That is not company I would like to keep. In truth, I had put this ritual from my mind. Until last light. Trapped in that darkness, I turned to my research again. What if I was a little stronger? As fast as I once had been. Then you came. And made the question moot. But I kept this. Just in case, I told myself. A final resort. Perhaps you were not the savior you seemed. I had learned better than to think of life as some simple tale after all. There is no guarantee of happy endings, or true heroes. I believe that still. But when I look on all that we have achieved since, I wonder perhaps it is not heroes we need. Only people who are willing to try. I do not know what manner of story that makes. But I do know that without an ending, it would be no story at all. So I will accept mine. When and however it comes. As for this city story, well, that is entirely your problem now, Cub. I have no plans to lie down and die. Well, perhaps a little lying down when all of this is done. But I do not plan on going anywhere just yet. And besides, you still have a tadpole in your skull. You are almost certainly going to die first.
Jaheira's wisdom is plain to see. One of the greatest ways in which you can serve nature is to surrender your body back to it when the time comes. It may be some centuries before my flesh is ready to yield, but I hope I shall be bold enough to follow in her path when the day comes.
Just when I think I can't respect Jaheira anymore, she hits me with a grenade right to the heart. I couldn't agree with her more. There's more to life than time. It isn't about how long you're here. It's about what you do with whatever time you've got. And Jaheira? Well, I don't think anyone spent their hours better than her.
A gift from my husband. I've had to renew parts over the years, but the heart remains the same as the day he gave it to me. Yes? Ask it. Oh dear. Should I brace myself for some fashion advice? But I suppose you have earned better than glibness from me. It was a gift from my husband Khalid. He was a harper. A better one than me, truth be told. Any idiot can swing a sword, but to believe in the cause with the whole of your heart, a much trickier thing. He died. Alone, in pain, and far too young. Murdered by a mage who craved immortality. I'll not grant it by naming him in the same breath as my husband.
The quiet, unassuming shadow to Jaheira's strength, Khalid was another warrior who helped end the Balspawn crisis. Shortly after, he was murdered by the mad mage John Irenicus.
I've never known a warrior to go so far out of his way to avoid a fight, which meant the few he chose, most harpers swagger and flash their feathers to catch your attention. Khalid was quiet to a fault. And when we were married, on an upturned cart in the rainy Dalelands, he stammered so much. I've never been sure if our vows actually counted. Oh, I'm sure time and an aging mind has smoothed out a few of his flaws. But he was a good man. The songs make much of Khalid's meekness. The quiet little harper who had to keep a tight hold on his courage, but he had it when it counted. And more than that, he had compassion. When you live a harper's life, see all that a harper sees, that is by far the harder thing to hold on to. But a bard can tell you all the rest. As for all the things they cannot, well, I shall just have to keep those for myself.